Hello everybody, welcome to Dakman Productions and welcome to Conahey Rail. So, what is this video about? Well, first let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever heard of the movie Space Odyssey 2001, made in 1968? Well, this video is going to be called the Blue Odyssey, the Lionel Frontier. So, at any rate, I really didn't enjoy the Space Odyssey movie, by the way. I just couldn't get into it. Didn't like it. My dad loved it, but it wasn't for me, that's for sure. But I have a habit of liking movies that other people don't like. But anyway, this is not about movies. It's about the Blue Odyssey, the Lionel Frontier. So if you like and enjoy history and obscure things about Lionel, you're going to want to watch this video to the very end because this is going to be very, very interesting. So, I'm going to unbox this. I'm not going to make you guys watch it. Get it out of the box, and we're going to talk about this because this is, wow. The amount of research that I put into this, it took me a while because I want to make sure that I get my information 99.9% correct at least. But anyway, that's my goal. Alright, so let's get it out of the box and we'll get right back to you. So what do we have today? We got a Lionel Conrail SD70 Mac. And I know what you guys are asking me already. Well, what's so special about that? You already have one. Well, so this is a special Odysssey system demo unit. This is not something that everybody has. This is not something that was available to everyone. So this is a special Lionel demo unit made or geared towards hobby shops. And we're going to get this out on the track and we're going to talk about it. So stay tuned. You're going to like this one. Okay, so we got the Lionel Odyssey demo unit out of the box, and we're going to talk about it, as well as the demo units itself, Odysssey. We'll go through a few different things here about this locomotive. The first thing you'll notice that on top of the locomotive, so you know it's a demo unit, it actually says, or has printed, Odysssey on it right there in the top. So it's only marked on one side of it that I've seen. And once again, these were offered to hobby shops to demonstrate the new Odysssey feature. So what we have in front of us is a Lionel TMCC locomotive. The Odysssey demo units were made in the year 2000 to introduce Odysssey to the fans of Lionel locomotives. And for those who don't know what Odysssey is, basically it's just cruise control. So if you own a Lionel TMCC locomotive that does not have Odysssey in it, you'll notice that you got to sit there with the remote control and make it go faster and slow it down and speed it up and slow it down. And you're constantly moving the throttle on your, either on your transformer or on your remote, to make it have constant speed. This is very irritating, at least to me, but the Odysssey system basically did all that for you. So as it reached the incline, it would give the locomotive more power to keep the locomotive at the same speed. If it was going downhill, well, it would slow it down to maintain the same speed. So Odysssey was a great feature. However, it wasn't standard with all TMCC Lionel locomotives, so you got to make sure if you're looking at Lionel TMCC older locomotives, make sure you look on that flap or of the box and make sure it says Odysssey. If it doesn't say Odysssey on it, more likely it doesn't have it, and you're going to sit there with the remote speeding it up and slowing it down manually. And in that case, you can always have Henning's Trainz install cruise command for you, and that would fix that. Now, through my research, I have found that Lionel actually installed Odysssey on these units in-house. And these were basically installed on slow-moving locomotives that just weren't selling that well at the time period. And then offered them to hobby shops to demonstrate the Odysssey feature. With that being said, before I name off the different road names, unfortunately, all the demo units got the same stock number of 6-18288. So, unfortunately, you would not know what road name it is unless you opened up the box and looked inside of it. Because it doesn't even say on the box, and I'll show you that flap. You look on the flap and it just says SD Command Equip Odysssey System 6-18288. It doesn't say whether it's Conrail or any of the other road names that was offered to the hobby shops by Lionel. Now, this was not something that, from my understanding, the Odysssey demo units were not offered to the public. However, I know some hobby shops that had them did sell them to the public. So the next information comes with extensive research. There is some conflicting information out there. So I'm not going to stand behind it if this is 100% correct. However, I'm going to go ahead and mention it anyway. So some of these demo units were assembled with whatever parts Lionel had on hand. Not all engines have the correct prototypical soundboards. The Conrail version is the only one that came with the correct sound with the tower comm announcement matching the engine number. There were two different road numbers of the Conrail demo unit, number 4144 and number 4145 that you see in front of you. They mirrored the conventional and TMCC versions respectively. The 4145 demo had the correct sound because it already had the Conrail chipset in it. The 4144 did not originally come with sound or TMCC, hence Lionel used whatever it had. Lionel made a total of 5 different road names in pairs. They made the Burlington Northern, Southern Pacific, CSX, and BNSF with the Odysssey sound systems in them. These units were produced as a trial version and never meant for general sale. In the late 1990s, Lionel announced a brushless Odysssey motor, which featured the speed control that later became synonymous with the name. It developed outside the company, but once it started along the path to manufacturing inside the Lionel's U.S. plant, all sorts of problems arose. Cost and lack of low-speed torque being the biggest offenders. Once the electronic guys that developed the fly-by-wire technology for the Odysssey motor came to the conclusion that the same thing could be accomplished by using an ordinary CAN motor. The motor was killed off and the Odysssey system was born. This occurred in early 2000. Lionel reworked current in-stock locomotives to create the demonstrators. Lionel used slow-moving inventory that were already in-house to create the demo units. The 6-18288 demonstrators first shipped out in October of the year 2000, beating out regular production runs featuring the system by a month or so. Some of the catalog items scheduled for late 2000 included the Odysssey system, even though it wasn't announced. The demonstrators were advertised to dealers with a simple letter stating what was being offered. The letter made clear that the road name choice would be random. There was only a limit of 1 per dealer, although at the end extras were probably available if you wanted more than one. So unfortunately, like I mentioned before, 6-1888, it was a random road name, so you never knew what you were going to get until it arrived and you opened it up. Luckily, I was able to find 4145, which has the features that I talked to you about earlier with the tower comm, the correct sound chip. The 4144 does not have all the correct features. So, but I am glad to find 4145.
the Odyssey demo unit. Another great conversation piece. Another piece that was never meant for public sales, but here I am. I found one. Again, this is brand new, never used, out of the box from a store that went out of business. And I know people were saying, you ruined the value of it. And again, I'm not leaving it in a box and never running it just to have some kind of value to it. I run my stuff, I enjoy it, and that's what I'm going to keep on doing. I believe, we're going to see here in a minute, but I believe this has, since it is TMCC, originally was TMCC, it has all the full features, the tower comm, talk, the sounds, the electrocouplers, and all that fun stuff, which 4144 did not have all these features. So let's go ahead and run this unit, and we'll have a little bit of fun with it. So keep in mind, this is a year 2000 model. So you're not going to have all the advancements of what Legacy is today, but still, it's not a bad model to have. The detail really isn't that bad. And, you know, the ditch lights, okay, well, maybe not as great as what they make now, but still, this was basically cutting edge for the year 2000. And I'm so happy to have this conversation piece, because this would be something that you would walk into a hobby shop and see as a demonstration. I'm not sure if hobby shops put a sign out, you know, advertising the new cruise control system of Lionel. Now, what I didn't get into is how many were made, because there seems to be a lot of arguments, inconsistencies in the production numbers. So I didn't even want to go there for this video. I'm seeing all kinds of numbers all over the place. So once again, I'm only going to get into that. I'm not sure how many of each were made, but once again, they were all reworked at Lionel from slow-moving stock. So who knows? It's whatever they had left over that they actually converted. But when you did order or get the 6-18288, it was the luck of the draw as to what road name you got and what road number. But anyway, I found this very interesting. I hope you did too. I hope you learned an important piece of history to Lionel. And I'll catch you guys trackside. See you guys later.